So N and P is all you got to find in the equation, and then plug and chug. So look at that. It says the brand name of McDonald's has a 95% recognition rate. Based on data from retail marketing groups and Harris Interactive. A special focus group consists of 12 randomly selected adults to be used for the marketing test. For such random groups of 12 people, find the mean and the standard deviation for the number of people who recognize the name brand of McDonald's. So what they're doing is they found out through history or through the last year's study or whatever that 95% of those that were studied recognize McDonald's lingo or logo or whatever. And they want to know what is the mean and standard deviation of 12 people recognizing McDonald's. So you take the handy dandy formula and you say the mean is equal to N times P. Alright, you got two numbers here. You just got to figure out which one's N and which one's P. Which one will always be P? Percentage. Percentage, area, or probability? Percentage, area, or probability will always be P. So P is 0.95. And 12 is your N. What's 10% of 12? And what's 1% of 12? 0.12. Okay? If 0.12 is 1%, then take 0.12 and multiply by what? 5. And take it away from 100%. What's 0.12 times 5? 0.6. What's 0.6 taken away from 100? So your answer is 0.94.
Wait, did you say 0.6 or 0.06?
0.6. Okay, then it would be You're messing me up now. Alright, 0.12 times 6. What's 0.12 times, didn't I say times 5? I'm sorry. What's 0.12 times 5? Okay, and it should be 0.4. I'm sorry, 0.4. No, that's not right. I think I've done my math wrong. Somebody multiply 0.95 times 12. Yeah, I was fixing to say, okay, I'm sorry, 11.4. I wasn't taking it away from, I was taking it away from 1. Supposed to take it away from 12. All right, 11.4. So 11.4 people, that's the mean. Well, if you take any 12 people, you go out and in the hallway and pick out 12 people, 11 of them are going to understand what the logo of McDonald's is, or they're going to recognize it. Why isn't it 12? Well, isn't it getting pretty close to 12? Yeah, it is. All right, so let's go ahead and get our standard deviation. Well, Hubert, what about I don't care about the variance. The standard deviation is equal to the square root of N, P, what? Q. Now again, you don't have to reach for the calculator yet, because Q, if P is equal to 0.95, what is Q? So we just have to take 5% of this. Now what's 10% of 11.4? What's 1% of 11.4? 0.114, right? Or 0.11. What is 5 times 0.11. 0.55, right? And then the square root of 0.55, well, let's just think about this. The square root of 49 is what? 7? So it's going to be 0.006 something, or 0.007 something, or 0.07 something. Because 7 times 7 is 49. So you can get an idea of what it is just by using an old brain. What does it come out to be? 0.75 what? 4983. Now that you have the mean and the standard deviation, what can you make? Bell curve. That's right, class. Something that I've been teaching y'all since the first day, or first week, how to draw this bell curve. So I'm just going to use 11. I'm not going to use the decimals. So 11 plus 1 is 12, 13, 10, and 9. Now y'all gonna have decimals. I'm using 11, and I'm rounding this up to 1. So that's where I get mine. Yours is going to be 12.1, and then 12.9 or something like that, and then it's going to go backwards. 11.4 minus 7, no sneezing please, is going to be 10, and then 10 minus 0.75 is going to be 9.25 or something like that. That's what yours is going to come out to. And that's what they're telling you to do here. This is the same thing I've been teaching y'all since chapter 1, or unit 1. Add 2 standard deviations to the right, subtract 2 standard deviations to the left. Now, they might ask you something like, at the end of the question, they may say, what is the probability of 15 people knowing, all 15 people knowing what McDonald's logo is? What's that probability? Normal or unusual? What? 15's out here. So what would that be? Unusual. I doubt it. You're talking about McDonald's. That's about like saying, does anybody know what that means? I mean, Coca-Cola and McDonald's, pretty much it. I'm trying to think of any other. Can anybody else think of a logo that's more marketable than McDonald's and Coca-Cola? What? Yeah. And that's because of Michael Jordan. I think they were popular before Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan kind of like took them over the top. I'm not answering questions right now. What? Q is the complement of P. We waited and waited and waited, and we couldn't wait no more, so we had to go ahead and start with you. Without you, sorry. We're here since 8 o'clock. It's been a rough morning this morning. Oh, I had a rough morning. I got all the way to this red light out here. Sorry. Did y'all see the plane that came over right at 8 o'clock? It was like a Learjet. Had its headlights on. It came right across here. Anybody see that plane? Well, it was right over the red light, right where I was. I thought that plane was going to crash. Anyway, I was looking at it and saying, which way should I go? If that plane starts to deviate, which way should I go? I was looking, but that's where I was. And I said, what time is it? And I looked, I couldn't find my phone. I said, dang it!
I was behind you.
You was behind me?
Yeah.
And when I turned right and went,
Yeah, I was like, where is he going?
that's where I was. I have a witness. I was on time. I I think that was like 3 minutes, 2 minutes before. I was actually on time. I have a witness. All right. So anyway, P, if P is equal to 0.65, what's Q? 0.3. It's always a compliment. Remember me telling you about the lunch money? You know, that's where it comes. That's what I use. 0.6. I always use 0.65. Oh, lunch money is 65 cents.
Voicemail has arrived.
Okay. Let's go to the next page. Y'all see why I'm not worried about time when it comes to chapter 5? The hardest thing you have to do in chapter 5 is 5.2. That's it. That's it. 5.3 is simple, and 5.4 is simple. It's not very difficult. The test on chapter 5, I think, is 10 questions plus your 10 UNI questions. Everybody should make a 50 on this test. At least a 50. If you make below a 50 on this chapter 5 test, do not tell anybody. Okay? Just tell us lie. What'd you make on chapter 5? I made 75. Knowing you made a 42. And check to make sure we got that right. Let's see if they got another example. Let's see. I'd like to do one with an answer. Okay, here's one. From example 1, we see that a group of 12 randomly selected people, the mean, blah, 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 blah. For groups of 12 randomly selected people, use the range. Oh, we already did that. We did the range. The rule of range, that's the normal distribution. So, we've already done that. Sorry. They should have a picture of it. Maybe we can do a picture of it. Oh, there it is. 13 people was our top one, right? Right there. And 9.8 was our bottom. Well, I got 9 because I didn't do the decimals. So that's that. So let's look at this one right here. Alright? The chapter problem includes results from the blah 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 method of gender selection among 945 births. I'm supposed to have a heart attack right now, aren't I? Where's my sign? Did I not show y'all this sign? You need to leave your cell phones outside in the hallway in the trash can. Alright. 945 births. There were 879 girls born to parents using the blah blah blah. Assume that boys and girls are equally likely. Use formulas 5.6 and 5.7 to find the mean and standard deviation for the number of girls born in groups of 945 babies. So go ahead and do that. That was my painter. I'm having my house painted. Inside of my house. So every day when I go home, I get high. That was a joke. Right? I hate drugs. I hate drug addicts. I hate potheads. he was asking the same thing you were asking. Where were you going this morning? I saw him on the way back to my house. He couldn't figure out where I was going because he knew I had an 8 o'clock class. He said, "Are you on spring break?" I said, "No. Forgot my phone." And see, those of you that were late this morning, you missed the Platinum Plus story. And y'all are the only class I've ever told that to, and y'all missed it. Oh well, it'll be on the test, and y'all won't know it. Kidding. My 5 minutes in Platinum Plus. They thought I was lying. They said, "No, you ain't lying. You just don't want to be here." I said, "I'm not lying." Or they said I was lying. I said, "I'm not lying." Three of my students was working at Platinum Plus. The only time that I went into Platinum Plus, that was the story. I got out of there. I was teaching at the Pendleton campus then. So there was more of a diverse population. All right, go ahead and find the mean and standard deviation, and go ahead and draw your normal curve. Do all that. That sounded like a cough. I don't allow coughing in class either. You know, there's actually a teacher, I don't know if she's still a teacher or not, but she will throw you out of class if you yawn more than twice. I think she taught computer technology. You know, CPT 170. I don't see how you can throw somebody out of class for yawning or sneezing or coughing. I just joke around with it. Corey Roberts. No. I know Corey personally, and he is not that strict. He just if you're a high school principal and you coming in behind a god like Henry Adair was, and I respect the man teetotally 100%. Very good principal. You gotta make your own universe. You gotta be the commander of your universe. You're walking in big shoes. So he had to do some things that were unorthodox, just not because that he was going to be a mean principal, but he had to let everybody know, just like if, you know, the first day of class, when you came into my class, did I seem like a laid-back teacher or did I seem like a drill instructor? Be quiet. You already had me. Be quiet. Those of you that never had me before, was I a drill instructor or was I don't care what you do. I'm very hard at being a drill. I cannot be a drill instructor, but I have to lay down certain rules because people, if I don't, people take advantage of it. And that's what he did. And eventually, within the next, probably, he took over last year, this year. A couple of years, he'll have his own, he'll throw all those things away. He'll have his own little system. Ooh. But I've known Corey and I've known his family for years because all the Roberts grew up. Coach Roberts built a house right across the creek from our farm. So I've known him for years. I went to school with three out of the sons. My sister went to school with Terrence, who's the mayor, and I just know the family very close. He's not that way. He's pretty laid back, but he couldn't go into Henry Adair's office and be who he is because people would take advantage of him.
Haven't the deer been there like forever?
He was there when I came from Southwood to Westside. Henry Adair was at Southwood and he came to Westside the same time I did, and that was in '81. Very good man. All right, is this the one we're doing? Huh? Here, don't bother me. Now, the first thing people are going to do with this one is they're going to quit because too much writing, right? Too much writing. Is this it? This thing is. There. All right. There's 945 births. So that's n, right? What's the only probability that you've been given? So that means P is equal to what? 0.5. So, dang old mean is equal to 945. Let's change the problem. 945 times 0.5. Well, half of 900 is what? 445, right? 900 is 450, sorry. And then half of 45 is dang old 24.5. So 24.5 and 950 is 975.5. No, 475.5. Is that right? 472.5, sorry. So that's your mean, 473. And let's find our standard deviation. Square root of 473 times 0.5, because 0.5 is your Q. So half of 400 is 200. Half of 72.5 is 36.25. I don't know. Y'all help me out. 36.25. Dang old 36.25. Is that right? So square root of 236.25 or 237. 225. The square root of 225 is 15. 16 is 196. Right? 17, I have no idea. What is it? 15.37. So now you draw your handy dandy curve. And I'm going to change this to 473, and I'm going to change that to 15. So 473 and 15. 473 plus 15 is dang old 488. 488 plus 15, I have no idea. What is it? I can't add 8 or subtract 8. What? 5 what? 503? What's 473 minus whatever I said it was? I don't forgot the standard deviation. 15, what is it? 473 minus 15. For what? 458. And 458 minus 15 is 443. So there is your normal distribution, with normality being between 443 point blah 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 and 503 point blah blah blah, whatever it comes out to be with the decimals. Now the question is going to ask something else. Let's see what the question asks. It says use the range of thumb to find the minimum, blah, 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 and the maximum Is 879 girls unusually high? Well, let's look. 879 girls. Yeah. 879 is like right there. So 879 is going to be, maybe I'm in the class. That was your first yawn. You yawn again, I have to throw you out. So hopefully that's not a big deal. Let's go to our handy dandy homework and see what kind of questions we got. Somebody tell me, look in your syllabus, do we even go to 5.5? I don't think we do. Do we? I don't think we do. Okay. I didn't think we did. So that means we got a test coming up. This test should be a gimme test for y'all. Should be a I want to improve my grade test. All right, do this one. I want you to do everything. I don't care what it says, fine. I want you to do everything. It says a candy company claims that 22% of its plain candies are orange. Golly, I wonder what company this is. A sample of 200 such candies is randomly selected. Find the mean and standard deviation, blah, 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 blah. When you think of plain candies, what do you think of? That's orange. No, I think of M&M's. Yeah, but Skittles aren't plain. Their flavor, the first bag of Skittles, the red bag, was called Original. What was the first bag of M&M's called? Plain. Chocolate, plain. That's what I think of when I hear plain. Do you know that Mars and Milky Way, no, was it Mars? No, Three Musketeers and Milky Way. Do y'all know what's significant about Three Musketeers and Milky Way? Their packaging was switched at the first production and they never changed it. Did you know that? Three Musketeers was supposed to be Milky Way. And Three Musketeers bar was supposed to be the milk, vice versa. Because think of what makes up a Milky Way bar: chocolate, caramel, and nougat, right? Three Musketeers. And what does a Three Musketeers bar? It doesn't have 3 ingredients in it. It's just like milk chocolate and then that stuff in the middle. Milky Way. Now, if you haven't learned anything in this class, you at least know that Milky Way bar is in the wrong package. Where did that come from? I have no idea. Oh, M&M's, plain. I watched Ron Rash's second movie last night, Serena. I thought Serena was better than The World Made Straight. Had better actors in it. Which one? Serena? Did it have McClure Mountain and McClure Campground in it? You didn't read it. Yeah, you didn't read it then, because it has McClure Mountain and McClure Campground in it. And I was a deputy in Saints at the River. And I don't know what I was. In The World Made Straight, I was Hubert Toomey, and Hubert Shannon McClure was Hubert Toomey's ancestor. Jennifer Lawrence played that part really well. That little crazy one. No. Yeah. And also, she had a whole lot more. She ran that. Yeah, in the book, she ran that timber company and made a lot of money, kind of like Scarlett O'Hara did. But they didn't put, they kind of put her back seat as if she was in the book. But yeah, she was going after that kid. She was going to kill that kid. It's a good movie. I thought it was better than The World Made Straight. Some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about. Huh?
That is book better.
Oh yeah, both the books are better.
That do the paper
I like this book, One Foot in the Evening. He came over to my office one day and said, "You redneck, I need the name of a redneck bar in that you've been at, and it was the roughest place that you've ever been." And the only place I could think of was the Borderline Lounge down there where Wendell's is now. It was rough. They found 2 or 3 dead bodies behind that building. When they cleaned that place up, they found dead bodies behind it. But anyway, the Borderline Lounge was down there where Wendell's is now. And I said, I guess that would be the Borderline Lounge. And that's where he got the name Borderline Lounge in that book. He would come over and ask me questions all the time. Hubert, what does a fence look like that hadn't been taken care of in a long time? I said, is it in the tree? Is it in the woods, or is it? It's in the woods. I said, well, it's in the woods. It's going to be tight because the trees tighten up the barbed wire. And he went, huh? So I had to go into the whole thing about barbed wire and how trees tighten up the barbed wire, and trees will break the barbed wire because they'll keep growing and growing and pulling the barbed wire tight, and eventually the barbed wire will break. And he was like, I was going to put that it was loose. I said, well, then people would know you don't know what you're talking about. So, but he worked at Tri-County. He was my first English teacher. And he worked at Tri-County for about, let's see, I was here in 85, 86. And that was his first year of teaching. And then 9 to 10 years. He was about 12 years. Because we were, I don't know what you call people that are office neighbors. We were side-by-side office people, had offices side-by-side. And when he started writing, he would come over and ask me questions about redneck stuff and farm stuff and marine stuff. So in his second book, he put me in the book as a deputy beating up hippies. I like that one. But he got back at me, World Made Straight. He put a peace symbol on my neck, on my necklace. And he knew I wouldn't like that. The reason I don't like the peace symbol is because there will never be peace. Why do you say that? Because as long as men are in control, there will never be peace. Because of one word, starts with a T. Testosterone. There will never be peace as long as men are in control.
And then you have to have that I win.
Yep. And it's always Bush's fault. All right, so P is 0.22. And N is 200. So our mean is equal to 0.22 times 200. Somebody give me that number. How much? 44. Good. Good whole number without decimals. And then we'll take standard deviation is equal to the square root of 44 times 0.78. Somebody check me. And somebody give me that number. How much? We're going to do 6. Okay? You need to use 5.8, but I'm using 6 because I'm going to have to do math in my head up here. Okay? Oh, my stomach hurts. What does that have to do? No, my stomach hurts off the light thinking too much. I got to what? It ain't going to do it. I was trying to... Anyway. Forget it. Anyway. And the reason I want you to do all of this, even though it don't ask for it, is whenever you're asked for something being normal or not, you'll already have it. So 200 or 44, 50, 56, 44 minus 6 is what, 38 and 32? So if you open a pack of M&Ms or a pack of whatever candy this is, and what is the chance that you're going to get 6 orange candies? Might be very unusual. What is the chance that you're going to get 60 orange candies in a pack? Very unusual. But these are going to fall within normality. Now, whenever could you use this? You're not going to work for M&M's. You're not going to, but I did this with a van. Okay? Somebody wanted to buy a van. I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody wanted to buy a van. And they wanted to know if they were going to get rooked if they bought a blah, blah, blah van at blah, blah, blah dollars. So I went through the internet and I typed in the van, the year and the make and model and all that. And I went through and I got 25 of the van, and I put the price. And I put it in the Excel spreadsheet, and I did an average, and I got an average, and then I found the standard deviation. And basically it came out to be that if you got a van, the bottom end was $10,000, and the upper end was somewhere around $18,000. Okay? So if anybody was selling a van for $26,000, you were getting what? You get ripped off. If anybody was selling you a van for $6,000, you were buying a what? POS. And they ended up buying a van that was probably, I think they bought the van around $13,000 or somewhere. They still got that van today and it hadn't had to give them any problems. Okay? So you can use this whenever you're buying a car, whenever you're buying but you have to do a little bit of work. You have to do a little bit of research and go on Google, go on Blue Book, whatever the case may be, and you need to find some vans or some cars, and you need to find at least 10, and then find the mean and standard deviation, make you out a chart, and find out if you're getting ripped off or not. Or are you buying a piece of crap? So you can do that. That's a test question, something pretty simple. Let's do one more. Then we'll, time is, I can't see. What? Okay, good. We'll get out of work. 10 minutes? All right, let's do one more, and I'll see if I can find it. What time we get out? Dadgummit. Okay, well, y'all, I will go over the test Wednesday. That means y'all need to be finishing up the what? You need to be finishing up the homework. Let me get the roll before you leave. Let me cut off. Somebody hit my button back there.